Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I am talking all about my trip to Paris. Back in January of this year, I went to Paris. I took my first international solo trip to Paris and it was great. So let's talk about it. Paris was a great experience for me and I was nervous going to Paris because I had heard so many negative things on social media about Paris. I had heard like there's bed bugs in the hotels, the people there are rude, they hate Americans, all the things. So I was like, oh my gosh, like, is this gonna be a good experience? But I went out on faith and I was like, this is a great first solo trip for me. I'm going to enjoy it. I am going to take advantage of being able to do this. And I did that and it was a good experience. So let's talk about Paris because Paris is wonderful. One of my favorite things about Paris is the architecture. Of course, I went to go see the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower is wonderful. You can go, at the time they were doing some renovations to the Eiffel Tower, so I wasn't able to go all the way to the top, which is considered the first floor, going all the way up to the top. But I was able to go to the second floor. So it's a little bit down from the top of the Eiffel Tower, right? So maybe like here, if we're looking at my shirt. That was still an amazing experience. You get to go up this little, it's a big elevator that can fit a lot of people in it, but it seems like kind of rickety and you're inside, this historic, iconic architecture that was built so long ago. When you get to the top, you can see almost the entire city. You can see so many landmarks and fixtures from the top of the Eiffel Tower. It's also amazing from the outside when that Eiffel Tower is lit up. You can get some beautiful pictures when it's lit up. It's iconic. I've also been hearing on social media that the Eiffel Tower isn't impressive when you get to see it in person. It is. The fact that it was built so long ago, that it's been upheld, and it's this unique, iconic shape, and you can go inside and see the entire city, baby, that is epic. So I went inside the Eiffel Tower. I went almost to the top, and it's a wonderful experience. I would recommend to go at night. As well as during the day. See those lights, take some pictures, take some videos with it lit up. Wonderful. The other thing I love is other architecture around the city, just the unique style of how the buildings are built. America is fairly new, so I'm American. America is fairly new, so our architecture is a lot different. It looks a lot different. When you see this architecture that's so old and unique to this area, it really is beautiful. I just found myself looking at the buildings, taking lots of pictures, and just being amazed by it. As someone who's very artistic, I was very impressed with the architecture. Like, that's the fact that someone conceptualized this and this is now how these buildings look in this specific area. Fantastic. And I will try to insert pictures at the bottom so you can see like some of the pictures I took while I was there. The other thing I love about Paris is the museums. There are so many museums in Paris. Even if you stayed there for like a month, you would probably not have enough time to explore all the museums that they have there. Tons of museums. Fashion museums, museums dedicated to specific artists, all types of museums, all types of themes. So, of course, I had to go to the Louvre. iconic, right? Even the outside of the Louvre is iconic. That was an amazing experience as well. I took a guided tour through the Louvre. It was well over an hour, but when you go to the Louvre is huge. It used to be a castle for their royalty there, and they converted it into a museum. So it is huge. The guided tour is excellent because they offer it in all different languages. So although I was in France, where obviously the dominant language is French, I was able to take a tour with this young lady who was English, and she gave us a great tour. She was well educated, and we learned that there in France, in order for you to be a tour guide there, you have to go through some type of testing. So she really knew her stuff. As we're going through the different sections of the museum, she's explaining the history of the museum itself, this castle that we're walking through, the history of each piece. And we went, of course, the museum, they said, even if you spent like a week there in the Louvre itself, you would not be able to get through all of the things that they have there. It would take quite some time because they have so many different artifacts that they've acquired, mostly from other countries. So she, on this tour, she's explaining everything to us in detail, telling us the backstory behind it. We got to see some of their most famous pieces and some of their most popular sections in the museum. She took us to see the Mona Lisa. I did not get to see the Mona Lisa up close. The Mona Lisa is in this big room, and it is behind this protection. I don't know if it's glass, but it's behind this sort of clear wall casing. And then it has ropes, and you can't really get that close to it. You can get close enough where there's some distance, but you can't get like right up to this as if I'm touching this right here. You can't. There's a lot of protection around it. As our tour guide was explaining, the Mona Lisa has been stolen before, so it's very valuable because it's very popular. So you can't get that close, but you can get close enough to where you can take a picture with it from a distance. I didn't go up to it and get a picture up close with it because there was a huge crowd. I think I went on the weekend to the Louvre. So there was a huge crowd around the Mona Lisa, and there's a line, and our tour guide explained, like, people like to push, and listen, y'all get to pushing, this Southern African-American princess thing goes out the window, and you know, it's gonna get a little ratchet. So I decided, like, I'm not gonna go up there. I can't deal with people pushing on me and stuff like that. So I just took a picture from a distance. But I was quite impressed with some of the other artworks that she took us to see. So there's artworks from ancient Greece and Rome, ancient Egypt, all over the world. They just have different artwork, and it's quite amazing to see. As someone who's artistic, loves art, feels that art is ingrained in me and a part of my existence as a human being, just being there. I mean, I could have spent days there just exploring. When you go there, they of course have maps of the museum. I would definitely recommend getting the guided tour so you can see some of the most famous pieces first before you go out to explore on your own. Another nice thing about the Louvre is that they have a cafe there where you can get some of those delicious French pastries. They have outside, like once you go through the entire museum, they have a food court with McDonald's and all the things there. And I ended up getting like some fast casual version of Thai food. Was really tasty. They also have like shopping. So that was all interesting. One of the things that was interesting inside the Louvre, I had to go to the bathroom while I was there. And I was like, okay, I saw a restroom. And I was like, let me hurry up and go to the bathroom. I went in, and the guy, there was like an attendant before you go into the actual bathroom. And I'm like, he's like, are you gonna pay? You have to pay to get in. And I'm like, is he joke? I'm like, you're joking, right? He's like, no, I'm not joking. You have to pay to get in this restroom. It's not a public restroom. It's a private restroom. So we have people that we pay people to clean it up like constantly. The public bathrooms are not as nice. So you pay to get in. And I think I pay like either maybe a couple of euro to get in. Very nice, very clean. But coming from America, that was very strong. That was very strange. And it was like a culture, a little bit of a culture shock. Like, I thought this guy was joking, like, you have to pay to get in the restroom. I'm like, he's pulling my leg. Like, and we're from that American culture where we mess with each other. Like, so I'm like, no, you joking. Like, he's like, no, this is real. Like, you have to pay. So I'm like, oh, so I had some euro in my pocket. So I'm like, okay, I'll pay and see what it's like. They had a person back there when I was back there, just constantly, as someone goes out, they come in and clean. Very nice, like fancy. So I was like, wow. And I learned later that most of the public restrooms are outside. So when you're walking, you'll see like these little buildings, very small, the best way I can describe it. And it'll say restroom, and that's the public restroom. I didn't go inside, but I saw it when I was walking. So they have public and private restrooms. Very interesting. The other thing I enjoyed about Paris is the pastries. I wish I could go back just for those pastries alone. So, of course, I had to get croissants. I got baguettes. I brought baguette home for my son. He asked for that specifically. I don't know how he knows about baguettes, but he asked for that, for me to bring that back. And of course, me being the good mom I am, I'm gonna pack that in my suitcase and I'm bringing that home for you, son. The other thing I tried was pain à chocolat. 10 out of 10. And I told my son, when we go back as a family, you're getting that pain au chocolat. It's so good. I can't wait for them to try that. The bakeries first of all, there's a lot of bakeries. They're all within walking distance. So anywhere you go, you're going to see bakeries. You're going to see cafes along the street on the corner. And one of the places I ate breakfast, big portions. I had the biggest omelet I ever had. One thing that was also weird was that they gave me salad with breakfast, which I don't mind because I love salad. But I've never had salad for breakfast. So that was interesting. So you're going to find cafes all over. You're going to find bakeries all over. The bakeries are so beautiful. And I'm not talking about the interior or the architecture of it. I'm talking about the lineup inside the bakery. So you have your traditional breads, like the ones I talked about. But then you have like all these little cute desserts. You have to go to the bakeries. Just do yourself a favor. Go to the bakeries. The other thing I love about Paris is the walkability of the city. It is so easy to get around Paris. Some cities in America aren't very walkable. They're very rural. There's no public transportation, no sidewalks. You either have to bike, which can be dangerous, or you have to get a ride with somebody. Paris is a model city for transportation. Mostly everybody there either walks, which is why they're so freaking fit. They walk everywhere, which everything was in walking distance when I went there. The drugstore, the grocery store, restaurants, and if it's not within walking distance, it's a quick train ride away. And their train is underground, so it's almost like a subway, I guess comparable to New York, even though I haven't been to New York yet. But I'm guessing a lot safer and cleaner. So it's underground. So when you go to the terminal, I think most of the places where I enter, you go downstairs, you wait for the train, you purchase a either a single one-way or two-way ticket, or you can purchase a card for like the week or whatever, or however many rides. They have like machines where you can put in euro and purchase whichever one you want. It was very simple. They had it both in French and English in order to purchase. They also have people that sit at the desk like any other place a business you would go to, and you can ask them like, hey, I'm going here, where do I need to purchase a ticket to, or just purchase it through them instead of going to the little automated thing. So I did not take a cab at all when I went to Paris, except for twice, to and from the airport. Other than that, I took the train, and it was super simple. As again, I mentioned, you purchase your tickets, you get on. When you go through the little turnstile, you're going to scan your ticket or whatever. You get in, and then you're going to wait for your next stop. And it's listed like you're on the train seated. Look up, you'll see the stops. They're listed like, we're here, this is next. And they even have an app that you can download that will show you almost like Google when you're driving. You're here, you got 3 more stops, you get off here. Like, it was super easy to navigate. And then when you get out of the train going to your destination, there are signs plastered everywhere saying, go this way, you're almost here. Very easy to navigate, very user-friendly. I loved it. I felt very safe traveling that way. I never got lost. I went several places on the train. I went to Arc de Triomphe. I went to the Louvre on the train. All over the place. No issues. Loves it. I did not take the bus, but the bus was also everywhere. There were bus stops everywhere, and people take the bus there. So it's very easy to navigate. The other thing I like about Paris is that it was very safe. Now, some people may disagree, but this is my experience. As a Black woman traveling alone, I wanted to go to a country where I felt safe, that I wouldn't feel threatened, where there wouldn't be weird men around trying to follow me and all that. So Paris was very safe. So much so that I was able to walk at night, and walking, sometimes I did get lost. But I felt safe. No one was bothering me. No one was hassling me. There was one incident where I had a homeless guy come up to me and try to say something. I don't even know what he was trying to say. But I was fine. And then there was that same homeless guy was out at night one night when I was walking. But no issues there. just be aware of your surroundings, just like you would be anywhere else. Even here in America, walking at night, you have to be aware of your surroundings, and you have to know that, hey, if push comes to shove, it's gonna be you or me. It's not no question. I'm going home to my family. So just be aware, be vigilant, watching where you're going, and just stand on business. You know, you got to protect yourself. So just know that. The only thing I did not like about Paris was the food. And when I say the food, I'm like half and half. The pastries and all that was great, sensational. Now, the dinner left much to be desired. On several occasions, I ate out, I dined out, and the food was not hitting. I didn't even, there was 2 times I went out, I dined out, and I didn't even finish the food. And that's not me, baby. I love to eat. So Paris has more positives than negatives. So I'm definitely going back to Paris, but we need a do-over on the food. So if you are Parisian or French and you frequent Paris, I need suggestions. Like, I need suggestions on where to go, because the food was not hitting. It was not good. I wanted to get back to America just to get some soul food. I was like desperate. I'm like, please, the only thing I need to wash this taste out of my mouth is some good soul food. So I need suggestions on not viral restaurants that y'all think are good, but like tried and true restaurants. Like, I've been here many times. The food slaps. Like, the food has never been bad. Like, if I had to write down my top 3 of restaurants, this would be on it. I need suggestions. Please, please, and thank you. So that was the only negative for me. Nobody was rude to me, not a one person. Like I said, that homeless guy came up to me, but you know, as far as people being rude, people were very kind. People were very helpful. People were very respectful. All the service people that, the places that I went to visit, I went to the grocery store, I went to different tourist attractions, restaurants, all the things. People were very friendly. And I was also very surprised to see that people there were so many nods to like America there. I know sometimes they talk crap about us, right? But even on the train, like, there was a stop called Franklin Delano Roosevelt. When I went to this cafe, they were playing soul music, and I was like, what? So it's not all that people make it out to be. Go and experience it for yourself. There were no bed bugs. My room was very comfortable, small but comfortable. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that solitude of being by myself, making my own decisions of where I want to go, what I want to see, exploring. I enjoyed, and that was my first time going out of America. I enjoyed it, and I will definitely be back like many times over. So I'm not dismissing what people are saying when they talk about people in France being rude to Americans or Black people being mistreated in France. People have their own experiences, and their experiences are valid. But for me, I did not experience that. And I would hope that a country like France, who is one of our allies, would be welcoming to people and treat all people with dignity and respect. But I had an excellent time. I enjoyed all of it except for the dinner, and I will be back. Please comment anything about the food, restaurants, please, because I'm going back maybe next year. So comment, let me know. I stayed close to the Eiffel Tower, which was great because I could walk here and there and explore, and it was easy for me to get out and take the train, so that was good. I think part of the reason why the restaurants were so bad though, because I stayed in a touristy area and I went to places that were close to that area. But I'm definitely interested in staying in some other neighborhoods, okay? I like how you guys have the neighborhoods labeled, like the 16th, the 23rd, that is dope, okay? So I will be back. I love Paris. I love the vibes. Certain cities have a certain vibe to them, and Paris has a good vibe, okay? I will next time vlog, and you guys let me know what you think. If you have any questions about Paris, my experience, or you want to give me some tips. Bye.